a former carpet manufacturer originally constructed in the 1970s. Various industrial uses have existed on the subject property for almost 50 years. Cannabis production facilities are not a listed use under any zone, meaning any proposed cannabis production facility requires to go through the rezoning process. The application also requests recognition of an existing front yard deficiency of 50 centimeters and a 2 meter wide, and the driveway is 2 meters wider than it's permitted to be, so they're asking for recognition of that wider driveway.
Thank you. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of the application? You just activate the microphone, please.
Sean Legere, Senior Planner with RFA Planning Consultant. I don't have any formal presentation, but I am here to assist in staff and answer any questions the committee may have. Thomas, do you have another copy of the, is this the only site plan we have available?
Of the existing site plan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's okay. Just checking. Okay.
They do have it in the reports as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? Yeah, Councillor Culhane.
Through you, Mr. Chair, thank you. Have you received any communication from a Mr. Percy who lives down on the Bay Shore? There's a little enclave of houses down the side road. I believe just past the old Bakelite site, but I could be wrong.
Yes, there are a few dwellings down the private right-of-way. I'm aware of one phone call to the city staff. I'm not aware of the person's name, so I don't know. You have to maybe direct that towards staff, but I haven't received any.
Oh, someone's here to represent him. Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of the application? Yeah, if you come forward.
Okay, sorry, I didn't plan anything. I wasn't planning to speak, but my name is Kim Warner. I'm an ex-Bionish Life Sciences employee. So they closed their doors in the spring of 2018. After 18 years of working for them, I moved to the area to work for them. I did get another job, and I've now been laid off again since November. So with a university education, I worked with about 100 people that were university educated, and we all lost our jobs, and this is an opportunity to get some jobs back in the area that require education and experience, and working with the Health Canada, it's all regulated as to what they can and cannot do. It has to follow manufacturing orders, basically very similar to Bionish Life Sciences, which was there for 18 years. So okay. That's all.
Thank you. Any questions at all from the committee? No? Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of the application? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition of the application? Yeah, if you come forward and activate the microphone, please.
Hi, my name is Sharon Morant. I'm the daughter of Trevor Percy. So he has written an email, I believe, to a Matt McDonald, but I'll just go over his email that he has written to him. So these are his words. Please be advised, the proposed permission to allow the operation of a cannabis production facility near my property is a concern and objectionable for the following reasons. Emissions emitted from the facility creating health and odor concerns, devaluation of adjoining properties because of the particular product that will be produced. He's got a note here about fencing, lighting, and security. So those are the points that he has raised in his email to Matt McDonald.
Okay. Yeah. Questions?
Through you, Mr. Chair, if I may. Would you mind describing access to your dad's property? Because I've been there, but I don't remember the exact location.
Yeah, so there's actually 3, maybe 4 properties down there, and the access has to actually go to the east of the warehouse that's there. So there is, you have to go through the parking lot, and then there's a laneway to go around to the back of the properties.
Thank you. It's quite isolated.
Okay. Any other questions from committee members? No? Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition of the application? Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition of the application? Okay, seeing none, I need a motion to refer. Councillor Kelly, Councillor Culhane, all in favor? Motion's carried. I need a motion to adjourn the public meeting portion. Councillor Kelly, Councillor Sanderson, all in favor? Motion's carried. Moving on to Plan Advisory Committee. I see everyone is here. Mayor Panchuk is again for Councillor Williams. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none, I need confirmation of the minutes of the City Council Planning Committee meeting and Plan Advisory Committee meeting held on February 3rd, 2020. Mr. Baltutis, seconder Councillor Sanderson, all in favor? Motion's carried. No deputations, Mr. Clerk. Moving on to referrals from the public meeting. 6.1, notice of complete application and introductory public meeting for application for proposed amendment to zoning bylaw number 3014 as amended. 1139 Airport Parkway, City of Belleville, County of Hastings, file number B-77-1100. Owner is Ellen McFall. Applicant is Warren McFall. Policy planners report number PP-2020-11 refers. Resolution reads that report number PP-2020-11 dated March 2nd, 2020 regarding the notice of complete application and introductory public meeting for application for proposed amendment to zoning bylaw number 3014 as amended, 1139 Airport Parkway, City of Belleville, County of Hastings be received as information, and that staff report back at such time as input from the public, commenting agencies, and municipal departments has been received, assessed, and addressed to the satisfaction of the Engineering Development Services Department. Moved by Mr. Joyce, seconded by Ms. Brown. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion's carried. 6.2, notice of complete application and introductory public meeting for application for proposed amendment to zoning bylaw number 2076-80 as amended. 902 Wallbridge Loyalist Road, City of Belleville, County of Hastings, file number B-77-1101. Owner is Shandu Malawi Holdings Incorporated. Applicant is Quinny Boat Docks. Policy planners report number PP-2020-12 refers. Resolution reads that report number PP-2020-12 dated March 2nd, 2020 regarding notice of complete application and introductory public meeting for application for proposed amendment to zoning bylaw number 2076-80 as amended, 902 Wallbridge Loyalist Road, City of Belleville, County of Hastings be received as information, and that staff report back at such time as input from the public, commenting agencies, and municipal departments has been received, assessed, and addressed to the satisfaction of the Engineering Development Services Department. Councillor Sanderson, seconded by Mr. Jennings. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Motion's carried. 6.3, notice of complete application and introductory public meeting for proposed temporary use bylaw amendment to zoning bylaw number 3014 as amended, 1070 Thrasher Road, City of Belleville, County of Hastings, file number B-77-1102. Owner applicant is Jesse Mathers. Principal planners report number PP-2020-13 refers. Resolution reads that report number PP-2020-13 dated March 2nd, 2020 regarding the notice of complete application and introductory public meeting for application for temporary use bylaw 1070 Thrasher Road, City of Belleville, County of Hastings be received as information, and that staff report back at such time as input from the public, commenting agencies, and municipal departments has been received, assessed, and addressed to the satisfaction of the Engineering and Development Services Department. Moved by Mr. Baltutis, second by Councillor Culhane. Any questions or comments on that one? Ms. Brown.
I see from the report that it's recommending 3 years to allow for the relocation. Is 3 years a standard time frame that we would use?
Mr. Deming.
3 years is the maximum allowance under the Planning Act. So when reviewing the application, we figured that was a satisfactory number.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Motion's carried. 6.4, notice of complete application and introductory public meeting for application for proposed amendment to zoning bylaw number 10-245 as amended, 665 Dundas Street East, City of Belleville, County of Hastings, file numbers B-77-1103. Owner is Gerald Duraco. Applicant is Shazad Haroon. Agent is RFA Planning Consultant Incorporated. Principal planners report number PP-2020-14 refers. Resolution reads that report number PP-2020-14 dated March 2nd, 2020 regarding notice of complete application and introductory public meeting for proposed amendment to zoning bylaw number 10245 as amended, 665 Dundas Street East, City of Belleville, County of Hastings be received as information, and that staff report back at such time as input from the public commenting agencies and municipal departments has been received, assessed, and addressed to the satisfaction of the Engineering Development Services Department. Moved by Mr. Baltutis, seconded by Mr. Jennings. Any questions or comments for staff on this one? See none, all in favor? Motion's carried. Moving on to reports. 7.1, recommendation report for application for a proposed amendment to zoning bylaw number 10245 as amended, 219 and 225 Dundas Street East, City of Belleville, County of Hastings, file numbers B-77-1099. Owner applicant is Fix for Life, David and Darlene Quincy. Agent is Keith Watson, OLS of Watson Land Surveyors. Principal Planners Report number PP-2020-15 refers, and the resolution reads that the Planning Advisory Committee recommends the following to City Council. That the application B-77-1099 to amend zoning bylaw number 10245 as amended regarding 219 and 225 Dundas Street East, City of Belleville, County of Hastings be approved as follows. That zoning bylaw number 10245 is amended, be amended as a condition of consent application B24-19 by rezoning the retained parcel at 225 Dundas Street East to Highway Commercial C3 zone with special provisions, and the severed parcel 219 Dundas Street East to General Commercial C2 zone with special provisions. I need somebody to move that. Mr. Baltutis, Mr. Jennings. Any questions or comments? Councillor Sanderson.
Yeah, thank you, through the chair. So I read through the report, and I actually took a trip out this afternoon to try and talk to the owners to find a little bit more information about the property there. And when I went around 219 Dundas, I found that the building was in need of repair, at least externally when you visually review the property. So in the report that we've got back, it was distributed internally, but we didn't receive any feedback from the chief building official or the Belleville Fire Department. So in correspondence this afternoon with the CBO, they are going to have bylaw people take a look at the exterior of the building, and I'm not sure what the process is with the Belleville Fire Department, whether we can do an assessment of the building on the interior, but I have a lot of problem supporting a zoning change for a property that may, and the key word is may, be derelict. So I would like to table this motion until the next meeting to provide enough time for the CBO and the Belleville Fire Department to give us some information. So if I can get a seconder to...
Okay.
To that.
Before I ask for a seconder, if that's okay, can I just get some comments from staff? Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, to the chair, further to your comments, I have discussed it with Mr. Forstall, the CBO, and bylaw will be going out for there to do an inspection on it. The property itself, under its current zoning and under any future zoning, the use itself being a single detached dwelling will remain legal non-conforming. So any redevelopment of the property itself would have to then meet the zoning there. So, you know, if it's a derelict building that eventually is, you know, vacated and demolished, it would then have to meet the zoning under the current, what's possible there. So with the severance, the C3 zone, the standard zone that it is now, it might not be able to meet those setbacks, whereas the setbacks in the proposal would allow for redevelopment of that property as a commercial use that conforms. So just you know, if it was demolished or something like that, it would be easier to redevelop the property with the zoning change, opposed to it not being rezoned.
So I'm not, I'm, through the chair, I'm not sure I follow.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, through the chair. So I think too, maybe your concerns rest with the existing building then becomes used as a commercial use. Then they would have to apply to the City of Belleville Building Department for a change of use permit. Is that what you're discussing?
No, the report says that it's, the current use is not going to change. So whatever use it's being used for now commercially, it's going to continue, is how I read the report.
The current use is residential, single detached dwelling is the current use that was indicated by the application. Sorry, the retained parcel, which is the
So,
fixed for life, so do I have that
So-
properly
so have you
pronounced?
looked-
Is actually the commercial property.
so is that 219 or 225?
219 is the single detached, and 225 is the fixed for life office.
Okay.
So Councillor Sanderson, did you,
So on page 80, just a further clarification. Third paragraph down, it says, currently the severed parcel contains a single detached dwelling, and the retained parcel has the office for the charitable organization Fixed for Life.
Correct, yeah. So the existing uses aren't going to change. The zoning itself is commercial, which leaves the single detached dwelling as a legal non-conforming use, meaning that it can continue to operate as a single detached dwelling, but under its current zoning and under the proposed zoning, any redevelopment of the site, including the development of a new building, for example, or a change of use, would have to comply with the zoning that is in place. So the single detached dwelling can continue to operate as a single detached dwelling, but if they were ever to demolish the building, it would lose that status, and then it would have to comply with the zoning in place.
Okay, so I think I understand, and I still come back to the need to have a report from the Belleville Fire Department and the CBO. So my motion to defer, if I can get a second or stands.
okay, so I just wanted to get that clarification from staff, and then, so Councillor Sanderson has put a tabling motion on. Is there a seconder for that tabling motion? Okay, yep, so seconded by Councillor Kelly for a tabling motion. There's no discussion on a tabling motion. And we're going to table it to the next meeting in order to get the information from the Belleville Fire Department and the chief building official. So we've got it on the floor. I'll call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Motion fails. The tabling motion fails. So the original motion, it is on the floor as written. Yeah, Mayor Panchuk.
Yeah, just if I could just make a couple comments. I understand where Councillor Sanderson's coming from. So my understanding of this is we have a current building which is zoned appropriately, so it's residential. Councillor Sanderson has some concerns regarding the property standards situation with it, and we understand that the CBO is going to be sending out an inspector to take a look at it. Regardless if we approve the rezoning or not, that would be, if it continued as a residential, it would be a non-conforming use, previously existing non-conforming use, but it would still be subject to the property standards bylaw. So if the building inspector found any concerns with respect to structural integrity, they would have all the measures available to them to deal with that. If we rezone this and the property owner wants to redevelop it, they're not going to be allowed to use that as a non-conforming use because of the change of use, and so they'll have to reconstruct or alter it in such a way that would still be subject to the property standards and the building code. Am I correct in understanding that?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Okay, so that's why I didn't support the tabling motion, because I think the the outcome that Councillor Sanderson is looking for can happen under either of the zoning situations. But I think that to go, and I understand that our staff are going to be going and checking it out soon, is probably a very good idea, so that we can probably expedite it for the property owner going forward. Thank you.
Yeah, Councillor Culhane.
If I may, through you, the building is currently not occupied. Is that correct?
Through the chair, I believe they do have a tenant. I'd have to confirm with the owners on that, but I believe they do have a tenant there.
Is there, and it says, if I read it correctly, that you have to give consent for an inspection. Is that correct?
Through the chair, for the interior inspection, yes.
For a bylaw officer to take a look, the owner or tenant has to agree?
I'd have to confer with the CBO on that. That's through the building division and kind of outside the planning department's area of
Okay.
expertise.
Well, if I may, I hadn't given thought to the condition of the building or who might be in it, but Councillor Sanderson has raised the point. And that's fine, but if permission is denied, then what's the next step? Because fire is on the circulation list. So how do we know if permission is denied and this building continues to be derelict? What follow-up is there?
Through the chair, the building itself is subject to any property standards order similar to any other building in the city. So it would go through the same channels through the bylaw enforcement officers, and
So I think if, regardless of the decision tonight, the building department, the CBO, has the comments of Councillor Sanderson. So I think it's up to him to sort of fulfill his duties to the full extent of his legislation. So I think in those terms, as you know, as a department with their own ethics and responsibilities, we'll let them do their job to their fullest.
Yep.
With respect, Mr. Ashton, through you, Mr. Chair, I would never impugn anyone's responsibilities. I'm asking for process. So if permission is denied, it then goes back to the chief building official, and he then decides whether or not to involve the fire department. I mean, that tenant in that building, which looks derelict, I'm asking sort of on behalf of that tenant, if you like, what the process is from CBO
So,
forward.
I guess so through the chair, so for Claire, so you're saying that if the zoning was denied?
No, if the safety of the building is in question. I'm just asking.
So if they had a building inspection and it
If it's
was,
denied, if permission is denied to enter the building, to inspect the interior, that goes back to the chief building official. I have to ask the question when I
Yeah.
think of them, or I'll never think of them
okay.
again.
So I think in terms of the building inspection, the CBO does have a good working relationship with the Belleville Fire Department, so I think.
That's the road it would take.
Yeah, so whatever is possible, they'll ensure the health and safety of our residents, correct?
Thank you very much.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Motion's carried. 7.2, recommendation report for proposed amendment to zoning bylaw number 3014 as amended, 125 Mitchell Road, part lot 25, concession 1, parts 1 to 6, plan 21R-25, 5119, City of Belleville, County of Hastings, file number B-77-1097. Applicant is John Shearhorn, and owner is 732676 Ontario Incorporated. Policy Planners Report number PP-2020-16. Resolution reads that Planning Advisory Committee recommends the following to City Council. that application B-77-1097 to amend zoning bylaw number 3014 as amended regarding 125 Mitchell Road, Part Lot 25, Concession 1, Parts 1 to 6, Plan 21R 255119, City of Belleville, County of Hastings be approved as follows. That zoning bylaw number 3014 as amended be amended by rezoning the subject land from prime agricultural PA zone to rural RU zone with a retained parcel and rural residential RR zone for the two severed parcels as a condition of consent for applications B3319 and B3619. Moved by Ms. Brown, Mr. Baltutis. Any questions or comments? All in favor? That motion's carried. 7.3, recommendation report for proposed draft plan of subdivision lots 8 and 9 of registered plan number 124, City of Belleville, County of Hastings. Owners Andy Gertzma, GCL Developments Limited. Applicant is GCL Developments Limited. Agent is Laura Lee Jones, Macaulay Schomihausen Limited. File number is 12T-19003. Manager of Approvals, Development Engineer and Training, Approval Section Report Number APS-2020-07. The resolution reads that the Belleville Planning Advisory Committee recommends the following to City Council. That approval of a draft plan of subdivision prepared by Ainley Group dated October 30th, 2019, as shown on attachment 2 to approval section report number APS-2020-07 be granted for the lands identified as lots 8 and 9 of registered plan number 124, City of Belleville, County of Hastings. File is 12T-19003, subject to the draft plan conditions outlined in attachment 3 to the approval section report number APS-2020-07. Moved by Mr. Joyce, seconded by Councillor Sanderson. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion is carried.
Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, can I just ask for the council meeting next week when it comes before council, if I can just put Director Ashton on notice. I want to ask about Farnham Road infrastructure and the timing. So I appreciate that's not part of this thing here, but I will ask regarding what our engineering plans are for that route up to Scott Drive there.
Okay. Mr. Ashton, you have that for council? For council? Yeah. Okay. Not now. It's giving you lots of lead time. Okay, moving on to information matters, official plan and zoning bylaw amendment monitoring report to March 2nd, 2020. I need a motion to receive. Councillor Culhane, seconded by Mr. Baltutis. Any questions on any of those? Mr. Jennings.
Thank you. Through the chair. I guess I was looking for a little update on the decision at council about the Farnham property, about the purchase of the Farnham property and what brought that decision upon.
So you're looking for an explanation as to 427 Farnham?
Yes.
Councillor Culhane's got her hand up really rapid here, so she can give you her opinion.
Sure.
Yep, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you. I'll tell you exactly how I made my decision about that property. Certainly it was brought to our attention by property owners and made more prominent. However, looking at the property from a planning perspective, I was unable to get an existing prototype for that roundabout. I don't think one exists in the country. It's 3-armed instead of 4-armed. It exits up a hill through a residential property. I asked for comparators, and I was given Ottawa's roundabout, which works very well, is flat. You can see from all angles. So there was no comparator. This was a brand new undertaking. The issue of residential dwellings on that strip of land had come forward and been refused and come back before my time on council. So no disrespect to a developer. He buys the land with the intent of developing, and that's his perfect right to do. However, when you look at planning from all of the planning principle perspectives, one of those perspectives mandates that you look at what you are agreeing would be a suitable place for residential occupation. If I don't want to live on that piece of property myself, then I cannot approve that piece of property going forward for development. So yes, you're into spending other people's money, but it's my money too. I've lived here all my life, I pay my share of taxes, and I agreed with myself that I would not want to live on that stretch of land, especially when the road is widened and it's right in my front doorstep. So there's my position.
Mr. Jennings, do you want?
I'd love to hear everybody's opinion.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Well, my thoughts, some of them echoed by Councillor Colleen, but when we looked at that, when I looked at, we see the growth in that part of the city. You look at Harmony Public School, I think they're in around 800 or 900. There's a lot of youth in that area, a lot of kids in that particular area. I did speak to some of the families that were there. They sent us letters. I had personal contact with them. The roundabout is busy. And then that green space, we've talked about potentially putting in a park there, making it really family friendly, and safety is a concern. And it just came back to me, I made some notes, was just growth, green space, and I know it was a lot of money. And as Councillor Colleen said, it's my money too, because we're all contributing to this, but I think safety and looking down at the future, there's so much potential there with a nice little park and that type of thing. So that's where my heart was at.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to make comment?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not sure how this is actually relevant to the Planning Committee's discussions. I know the Planning Committee dealt with previous applications, but it's, you know, it's a decision that Council has made. We have not made any decisions in terms of that future use, but I can tell Mr. Jennings and any other residents, rest assured, there will be some proposals that I think the community will be very happy with, and they will understand the motivation of Council prior to that. But at this point, I'm not prepared to speculate and tell people what that will be until Council makes a proper decision, and it'll be made fully public at that point.
Okay.
Thank you. I only bring it up because it is kind of the part of the process. It was going through to LPAT, and it seems like that process was subverted through Council. So that's the only reason I brought it up here, just to find out what was the justification. I couldn't make it to the meeting, so. Thank
Okay.
you.
Great. Okay. Any other questions on official planning and zoning? Okay, all in favor? Motion carried. General business and inquiries. Anything else? If not, we've got some closing remarks. The Plan Advisory Committee's applicable decisions will be forwarded to City Council for consideration, forming part of the agenda for the City Council meeting to be held at a future date. I need a motion to adjourn. Mr. Joyce, Councillor Sandison, all in favor? Motion's carried. Thank you.